So Boker Tov, good morning. We are in the midst of the counting of the Omer, the weeks between Passover and Shavuot. And so some of those themes will continue to guide our meditation during this time. We begin with the practice that we have used every time we begin, a practice of offering just gratitude for the gift of this day. And on days when we are open to that, it lifts it higher. And on days when we might not be feeling it, you know the phrase, fake it till you make it. And sometimes just the expression of the words to express gratitude in being, in the gift of a day, in the life that I have, opens up the possibility of reconnecting to those places in which we can genuinely sit in that place of noticing the blessings. Moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Moda ani lefanecha. Moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Moda ani lefanecha, moda lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha. Inviting you to be still, gently breathing into the vibration that continues after the chant ends. when I introduce the meditation, the blessing, Eloheinu Shama Shenatata Bi Tohorahi, I'm often focused on that connection between that second word, neshama, which means soul, almost identical to the word neshima, which is breath. And we see that the rest of this line, you created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, you protect it within me. These are the lines of this piece of morning liturgy. And when I make connections between the breath that flows within us and the way that that breath connects us to all of life, to the trees that breathe out what we breathe in, and we breathe out what the trees need to breathe in, that balance, that flow, I'm drawing that idea and that awareness from the teachings that I received from one of my teachers, Rabbi Arthur Waskow. And Rabbi Waskow is acutely attuned to those connections and does a beautiful job of drawing them out from the traditional liturgy and connecting them to those things that are front and forward in our awareness in this time. And yesterday was Earth Day. And so I wanted, in leading into this chant this morning, to read one of his prayers for the earth, raising consciousness around our obligations. At this time, perhaps you've noticed what I've noticed in the lack of cars on the road. You know, the air is a little cleaner. And also nature is showing up. We've been watching the last few days this beautiful family of deer, 3 of them. They trot from one side of our road where there's nature and an area where they can eat and rest, and they cross the street right in front of our house because that gives them access to the woods behind us. And they go back and forth the beginning of the day and the end of the day. And our dog Kugel likes to announce their presence. A couple of mornings ago, we watched a fox trotting down the street. What was very sweet about that was that, you know, we expect nature to go where nature wants to go, but this fox was very much keeping to the sidewalk, and we watched it trot off into the distance. So when we pause, when we hold back, we become more acutely attuned to how the natural world is fully capable of continuing on, regenerating itself, replenishing itself when we get out of the way. And when we do eventually manage to come back more fully into human life and connection and activity, those like Rabbi Waskow, who have been really leading the call for us to live in a way with more conscious awareness of that interaction and that balance that has been so unbalanced for too long. We want to continue to raise that up and to find ways to live better with that balance. So here is his blessing. I'm going to take it straight from his website at the Shalom Center. You, O Holy One of Being, interbreathing of all life, known to all your cultures and communities by many sacred names, you, who breathe transforming life into us, just as we breathe a transforming voice into the shofar. You who breathe life into us all, so that we breathe in what the trees breathe out, and the trees breathe in what we breathe out. You who breathe into us the wisdom to shape our breath into words, to shape our words so that they aim toward wisdom. May the words we are with your help sharing today speak deeply with your help to our nation and the world. Help us all to know that the sharing of our breath with all our life is the very proof, the very truth that we are one. These ancient words remind us, I am the interbreathing of all life, and of me, for me, from me, with me, come all the earth. You do not own it. You must not poison and destroy it. You must share its bounty with all life, for you are but my guests and visitors. Remind us that if some few among us, drunk on their own wealth and power, pour poison into earth and air and water, then it is poison that we all eat and breathe and drink. Our sustenance arises from the interweb of life, and it is only through greed and coercion that it is gobbled and poisoned by the few. Together today we call upon ourselves and all our neighbors to prevent the overburning of our fossil fuels that imposes drought and famine on our farms, floods our rivers and our coastlines, scorches our planet. We know that what we call the climate crisis is a crisis in the balance of the gases in our planet's atmosphere, a crisis in the breathing of our planet, a crisis in your name. Yes, a crisis in the very name of God. And so we light you a candle, this fire of enlightenment, to light up the rainbow in the many colored faces of your human cultures and in the many colored faces of all life forms, to affirm that the earth is not for burning, to affirm that in all our faces is the one spark of your presence. Send us forth from here with a commitment to turn these words into action, into compassion, into justice, into healing, into shaping the beloved community throughout the earth. We call out in the name of the one who is many, in the name of the many who are one. And may the people say, Amen. Elohai Neshama Shanatata Bi Tehorahi 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 Elohai Neshama Shanatata Bi Tehorahi. I invite you to continue to chant the words silently with each breath. And with each breath and with each word, allow yourself to feel the sensation of being connected, being part of the flow of all living things. Let the edges of your own self be softened. Feel the connection between the air around you and the air within you, held and connected by the interconnection of all life. We bring ourselves back to being present in this moment. And a brief teaching on where we are in the counting of the Omer this morning. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who has hallowed us with your commandments, commanded us to occupy ourselves with words of Torah. Teach us to treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day, that we may open our hearts to your wisdom. Oh, teach us to treasure each day, that we may open our hearts to your wisdom. Oh, teach us to treasure each day. Treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day. Treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day, that we may open our hearts to your wisdom. Oh, teach us to treasure each day, that we may open our hearts to your wisdom. Oh, teach us to treasure each day. So the blessing for the counting of the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom arba asa yom shehem shnei shavuot ba'omer. Today is 14 days, which is 2 weeks of the Omer. Malchut sheb'gevurah. This is Malchut, foundation, actually kingdom, within Gevurah, within strength, might, discipline. So this is the Kabbalistic tree of life. And so in this we're coming to the end of a second week where we have been focused on this part of the tree of life, Gevurah, which is about having strength, It's about discipline. It's about rules and laws and structure. And the Malchut, because each of these 7 of the lower are contained within each one, Malchut is down at the bottom here. This is the sort of the kingdom. This is the plane in which we experience and integrate all of the other energies from the Kabbalistic tree of life. So I was looking at a variety of teachings this morning that connected these 2 elements. Gevurah, I've talked about in past sessions that we need discipline, we need limits, we need structure in order to live a life of balance. But at the same time, it can't be all discipline and all rules and all hard edges and judgment. With all of these, it's about finding that blend, that mix, and that balance. If we're looking at the aspect of Malchut within Gevurah, one of the ways that I saw it expressed by Rabbi Simon Jacobson, who's done a lot of writing and teaching about the Kabbalistic Sfirot, and particularly within the context of counting the Omer, is the idea that if we are setting ourselves structures or rules or requirements that feel oppressive, that limit us, that we use to beat ourselves up when we don't meet those expectations that we have set ourselves, then that is an opportunity to look and to see whether or not we perhaps need to adjust this aspect of Gevurah within how we are manifesting it and living. That for it really to be the foundation, it should be something that lifts our self-esteem, that helps us walk with greater dignity, with a sense of certitude about how we are applying discipline and structure in our lives in a way that makes us more. I found in the expression of the counting of the Omer through female characters of the Bible that had been, I think, put together by Rabbi Jill Hammer, that this aspect of Malchut within Gevurah was assigned to the biblical character Leah. That for Leah, the first part of her life with Jacob was one in which there was low self-esteem. She looked for her strength and for her affirmation to come from something beyond her, but not from beyond her as in from God, but as in from her husband Jacob. And he had loved Rachel. And so Leah was seen as less than. And we see in the evolution as she starts to have children and the names that she gives them, that over time she comes to this place of acceptance and perhaps even true joy in the blessings that she has, in her ability to create, in the life she has brought into the world, in those children that surround her. That's one way in which she finds her own inner sense of strength and affirmation and dignity that is not reliant on what somebody else expects or requires of her, or how they look upon or judge her. And that inner sense of strength and self-esteem is encapsulated in the spiritual growth of Leah. And I thought that was a nice way to think about these qualities for ourselves. I want to close this Omer reflection this morning with this chant of the angel's blessing. This is part of an evening Shema time liturgy, and I often use this blessing as a blessing for healing. it calls upon some of the angelic names that are have been absorbed into our heritage, um, that sit on our left and on our right, in front of us and behind us. And you'll notice that one of the names of these angels is Gavriel. Gavriel is from the Hebrew word gevurah. So it's one of those energies that's to do with strength. And I call to this because, while the teaching about Leah is about finding that inner strength and self-esteem, and the way that we apply that in our walk in the world, this blessing I often call upon when I feel depleted, when I don't know where that strength is going to come from. And so I call upon the energies that are just part of the universe, because that's for me what the Kabbalistic tree of life is. All of that energy exists in the oneness of the divine. And if I don't find it within myself, perhaps I can call upon it to re-energize me, to provide me what I need. And that's a way of thinking about what angels are, that's a source of connection. Sometimes it comes through another human being reaching out and their gift to us. And sometimes it just comes from asking for it, for praying for it, to lift us up. So we have Michael on one side. We have Gavriel, the angel of strength, on the other. We have Uriel. There, the Hebrew word is about light. And Uriel is in front of us, lighting our way, providing a path forward. And I think at this time, we can all call upon the angel of Raphael, from the Hebrew word refuah, which is healing. And Raphael is behind us, which I think is such a beautiful allegory, because to think about the angel of healing kind of watching our back, I call upon Raphael. And above our head, Shekhinat El, the divine presence. B'Shem Hashem Elohei Yisrael, Mivini Michael U'mismoli Gavriel, U'milfanai Uriel, U'me'achorai Raphael, Ve'al Roshi Shekhinat El. In the name, the God of Israel. On my right is Michael, on my left is Gabriel. In front of me is Uriel, and behind me Raphael. And above my head, the Shekhinah dwells. B'Shem Hashem Elohei Yisrael, Miyamini Michael U'mismoli Gavriel, U'milfanai Uriel, U'me'achorai Raphael. Ve'al Roshi Shekhinat El. Yalalai lai lai, yalalai lai, yalalai lai lai lai, yalalai lai, yalalai lai. Ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Teach us to treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day, that we may open our hearts to your wisdom. Oh, teach us to treasure each day, that we may open our hearts to your wisdom. Oh, teach us to treasure each day. Treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day. Treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day. Boker Tov. Good morning.